Good morning, Ms. Sawa. Today we are going to present our Management Accounting group assignment. My name is Thi Shu Wen.
My name is Joanne Tan.
My name is Ko Wei Ying.
My name is Lee Jing Si.
My name is Lee Kai Sing.
So first of all, I will be discussing about how a typical budgeted process is undertaken in a business organization. In a business context, budget is an estimation of cost and revenue made for a specific future period of time. The main objective of budgeting is to achieve maximum profitability while optimizing the usage of resources. And the budgeting process is a set of procedures for an organization to plan the allocation of resources to a project or strategic objective, thereby monitoring spending and evaluating the effectiveness of the budgeting plan. One of the most critical steps in the budgeting process is the preparation of the sales budget. It is a financial planning tool for a company to estimate its expected sales by determining the volume and the price of a product. In this process, the spreadsheets such as income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement serve as an important and helpful component. The first advantages of preparing a detailed budget is that it allows the company to assess a bigger picture of where they stand financially, which assisting them in setting a clearer sales goal. The sales budget also guides the management to estimate the volume of production needed and allocate those resources effectively, which can maximize their profits while lower the wastage. However, preparing a sales budget requires significant management effort, which is very time-consuming. So let's look into an example of how Starbucks prepare their sales budget. Starbucks uses data analytics to estimate the exact amount of ingredient needed to minimize the wastage and spoilage. Apart from that, by knowing the peak time of coffee often being sold, Starbucks is able to schedule the right number of baristas at the right time, which ultimately minimize their labor cost variance. Another significant stage of budgeting process is monitoring and controlling. This is the phase where the company tracks and manages the process of the budget plan by using variance analysis. This is the primary tool for the company to compare the actual results with the budgeted income and expenditure. So this stage is important because it helps company to identify in which area are well performed or in which area needs to be improved, so they can take corrective action immediately in response to the unfavorable plan. However, most of the time, the company might easily satisfy after achieving immediate results or short-term objectives. This is what we call my-peak behavior, which makes them fail to recognize the importance of this stage. So let's look into how Coca-Cola do to monitor and control their budgeting plans. Since Coca-Cola offers 100 brands of beverages, such as Coke, Fanta, and Sprite, by calculating the sales mix variance and analyze the customer's interests, Coca-Cola can assess which of its brands contributes a higher margin and focusing on producing the right kind of volume that maximizes its profitability.
Next, I will be present about the evaluation to the relevance of zero-based budgeting in today's business environment. So the definition of zero-based budgeting is zero-based budgeting is a budgeting method where the budget is built entirely from scratch for every new period. Unlike the traditional budgeting, zero-based budgeting do not simply adjust last year's numbers. Instead, every activities and every expenses must be fully justified before it can be approved. And the main purpose of ZBB is to ensure that every spending is necessary, efficient, and aligned with the organization goals. This approach will help the companies to avoid automatic spending habits and encourage better resource optimization. Next, I will talk about the relevance of zero-based budgeting in today's business environment. In today's business environment is much more violated due to post-pandemic inflation, rising supply chain disruption, and geopolitical uncertainties. Because of this, traditional incremental budgeting has become less reliable. But the zero-based budgeting is relevant because it forces managers to evaluate every dollar spent, reducing waste and improving cost discipline. And it also supports the company operating in unpredictable markets by increasing transparency and ensuring that resources are allocated to the most important activities. According to BITR 2025 findings, ZBB continues to be relevant for several reasons. First, ZBB is not just a cost-cutting technique, it also helps the organization become more agile and supports strategy growth. Second, in today's environment of inflation, geopolitical risk, and supply chain issue, company cannot rely on old budget. So ZBB provides better control by requiring clear justification for each expenses. And third, it helps to shift resources away from inefficiency legacy activities toward higher value areas such as automation, data analytics, and innovations. And finally, ZBB encourages the culture change. It improves financial discipline, reduces budgeting interior, and promotes more intentional and responsibility spending. And next, I'm going to talk about the reason why ZBB is relevant. There are several key reasons why ZBB remains relevant today. Because first, organizations are facing rising costs and tighter budgets. ZBB helps to identify unnecessary expenses and redirect funds to critical areas. Second, the company needs more flexibility and transparency in decision making. So ZBB improves the accountability by making sure each department reviews its spending truly. Last will be ZBB will support long-term strategy planning because it forces managers to evaluate what activities truly add value to the company, and this will help the company to stay competitive, efficient, and financially resilient. Next, I will pass to Jingxi for the challenges.
So now I will explain three main challenges of zero-based budgeting. Firstly, ZBB is highly complex and time-consuming. Every cost must be justified from zero, even if very small item. For large company, preparing ZBB can take weeks, and its heavy workload may distract managers from daily operation and increase stress across the team. Second, ZBB can create a short-term focus because the model requires visible and quantifiable justification. Those long-term investments like R&D, brand building, innovation project, and employee training are often difficult to justify. As a result, companies may cut this area. It will lead to limit their long-term growth. Third, there is cultural and organizational resistance. The detailed review process can feel too strict. It will causing discomfort among the manager and employee. Without strong top management support and good change management, ZBB can feel or become only one-time cost-cutting exercise. Kraft Heinz is a famous example for failure. After applying ZBB aggressively, they cut too much spending on innovation and brand building. In the short run, they save costs, but in the long run, their competitiveness declined, and their share price fell accordingly. On the other hand, Unilever showed that ZBB can succeed. They use ZBB to remove unnecessary costs and improve marketing efficiency, but they also maintain a clear long-term strategy and stable financial base. This protects their brand continue growth while still improving efficiency. In conclusion, ZBB is still valuable because it increased transparency and financial discipline. However, success depends on organizational preparedness, leadership support, and finding the right balance between cost efficiency and long-term strategy.
I will continue the following part with critically evaluate the critical issue faced by commercial organizations in developing offensive planning control and decision-making system. I have 4 examples. The first one is Huawei, level integration amongst business units. The second one is Toyota, interrupted supply chains. The next is Samsung Galaxy Note 7 crisis. And the last one will be Volkswagen diesel emission scandal. So first and foremost is Huawei level integration amongst business units. The issue is level integration. The different units use inconsistent data and reporting system, with control and unclear performance comparison. Decision becomes slow and not data driven. And the solution for Huawei to solve the issue is Huawei using digital integration, which means implemented unified ERP and management platform, standardized reporting, budgeting, forecasting, and improve data quality and faster, consistent decisions. Next is Toyota. Interrupted supply chains. Its issue is just inside supply vulnerability. Very low inventory make Toyota highly dependent on supplier. So during 2011, earthquake happened in Japan, stopped production due to overstock. Showing just in time is essential but weak during disruption. The solution used by Toyota to solve the issue is strengthening supply chain resilience, make global supplier to improve visibility, add strategy buffer stock and alternative sourcing, improve communication for quicker disruption response. So the following issue is Samsung Galaxy Note 7 crisis. The issue is with risk and quality control. Example is Samsung Galaxy Note 7, poor risk escalation and risk quality check. Battery overheating issue was not reported properly. Rush mass production versus failure. The solution is strengthen faithfully risk control and add multi-step battery safety test from an independent production quality division. Improve crash department risk reporting. So the last example is Volkswagen diesel emission scandal. The issue is Dieselgate used cheating software to pass emission tests, with control, poor monitoring, and low accountability. Decision focus on growth and not legal compliance. The solution is remove the top executive to show accountability, set up standardized compliance and risk management, and strengthen audit mandatory reporting system.
Next, I will talk about critically evaluate the contribution which management accounting makes to organization budgetary control through computational technique. I will describe the limiting factor analysis, throughput accounting, and similarity and combining the both techniques. The two important computational techniques to effective budgetary control are limiting factor analysis and also throughput accounting. These two techniques help managers plan, monitor, and control the resources needed to achieve organizational goals. Let's start with the limiting factor analysis. This technique focuses on the resources that limit a company's ability to produce or operate at full capacity, such as labor hour, machine time, or materials. When managers identify these limitations early, they can decide how to allocate resources in the most effective way. This technique supports budgetary control by focusing on the most profitable activities and also ensure that important resources are not wasted. Although some criticism that the method is too basic for complex or fast-changing business environment, but it is still proof valuable for daily decision-making and operational planning. Next is throughput accounting. This approach is based on the idea that a business should focus on how quickly it can generate money through sales. Instead of cutting costs, throughput accounting encourages business to use their resources more efficiently so they can produce and sell more. This helps managers understand which activities contribute the most to profit and allow them to compare different production options quickly. However, it does have some criticism. It doesn't look at the long-term cost and is not suitable for preparing external financial report. So it's mainly a tool for internal decision making. Despite their difference, both limiting factor analysis and throughput accounting share an important similarity. Their focus is different. Limiting factor analysis identify operational bottlenecks, while throughput accounting measure the financial impact of those bottlenecks. Overall, limiting factor analysis and throughput accounting are not the same, but they complement each other very well. One helps identify resources limitation, and the other helps explain the financial impact of those limitations. When these both techniques combine, they allow organizations to make stronger, more informed decisions that support both efficient operation and effective budget control.
Yeah, that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.